What have Star Citizen developers been working on over the last few weeks, and what is their focus now in August 2023 with Star Citizen's Persistent Universe? There is a huge amount of juicy information in this month's monthly report, so let's delve into it. Ships and vehicle updates. The RSI Polaris has begun its white box pass. A rough interior white box has been completed, and several issues with the concept were resolved. This is part of Star Citizen's focus on RSI ships at the moment. They're trying to get that Polaris out and then chain it along with the Galaxy and the Perseus. Very excited to see those big ships come out, starting with that RSI Polaris Corvette. A yet-to-be-announced ship has continued its LOD 0 pass, with the majority of tasks completed and a review scheduled. What is LOD 0? What is a LOD 0 pass? It's the highest detailed model of a ship, vehicle or prop, seen at its closest distance. So it's sort of like the highest detailed version of it they can make that will be actually used in game. With these yet to be announced ships and vehicles, some of them are probably going to be coming out in 3.20 and later this year in the end of year patch, but also we've got CitizenCon coming up. They might release some ships, and the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo in November. The Crusader A1 Spirit Bomber has progressed through final art. We know this is planned for Star Citizen Alpha 3.20.x, so part of the 3.20 cycle, but not the initial patch. There are a handful of LODs still remaining for its interior and exterior damage. Work also continued on the Spirit C1 cargo variant, with the main differences being minor exterior changes and the cargo room, which is in grey box. Work on another new variant continued, assumedly the Fury LX, with the dashboard and cockpit receiving attention. Another unannounced variant continued through its grey box phase 2. The Tumbril Storm is approaching the end of production, looking like it's going to be in-game by the end of the year as well. Tasks were started for another all-new vehicle. The team began by breaking apart the concept and putting together an in-game preview while planning out the work required for the base and its variants, so it has got variants. The current plan is to white box all variants at the same time and then select which versions will move into grey box first. I suspect this is probably a small ground vehicle because that would make it much more able for them to do slight variation changes and get them all done at the same time. For another ship or vehicle, 2 new variants went through the LOD 0 phase and are approaching content complete. The Aopoa Santok Yai, the Xi'an medium fighter, progressed through LOD 0 as well, filling out item housings and doing heavy paneling work on the exterior. They also came to a solution for the dashboard, which still requires polish, but delivers a unique aesthetic for interaction. The Origin X1 luxury hover bikes entered the grey box stage. While waiting on the white box review, the team are working to solve various aesthetic issues while ensuring the overall ship makes mechanical sense. They're also exploring new tools to help generate extremely clean automotive style geometry to maintain the required feel for the Origin bike. The VFX team completed their VFX pass on Size 5 bombs and 3 upcoming vehicles as well, assumedly the ones we previously talked about. Game features, they continued their work on the new tractor beams for vehicles, which will also include improvements to existing tractor beams. Work progressed with the resource network system, which includes features like engineering gameplay and life support. They also worked on several prototypes for salvage and munching gameplay and are currently discussing the best fitting technical solution with all dependent teams. They made improvements to mining for Alpha 3.20 based on community feedback, including updates to stability and predictability when mining. Mission features continue to work on the ship trespass system by giving the feature rigorous destructive testing. So this is the system by which you can freely deal with people on your ship that aren't invited, that aren't part of your sort of crew, and steps towards a proper permission system. The retrieve consignment missions passed final review and are currently being polished and balanced. Alongside this, the current underground facilities were replaced with Rastar stuff, so it looks like we're getting new updated underground facilities and bunkers, potentially in Alpha 3.20, but they're working through that at the moment. Progress was also made on the new global event Blockade Runner. This will be replacing the Ninetales Lockdown, I believe, and is more general in its ability to be used like anywhere. There's now an improved working prototype for that. The initial planning for new cargo missions was completed. They are now looking deeper into the reputation system to improve the wider delivery and hauling mission gameplay loop. Steal and recover cargo missions were also prototyped. These will see players either recover cargo from disabled ships or disable and board ships before securing their cargo. Sounds awesome. Code work began for reputation. Progress with reputation scopes will give players discounts on various purchases, including items, refueling, and repair. Mission features also picked up the reputation-based hostility system, which will see NPC orgs more willing to attack those with a negative reputation, with them also then providing benefits to those with a positive standing. Narrative continued syncing with various design teams to push development on Pyro, specifically focusing on mission content, local mission providers, establishing the tone and voice of how missions will be presented, and examining how overall mission systems will change when the new system is added and how missions will cross over between systems. They're also supporting the Miscal C by implementing the latest version of air traffic control ATC behavior, which will allow players to request a landing spot to load and offload their cargo. This also led to resurrecting work on the overarching ATC behaviors, with some exciting updates that will be discussed in the near future. The character and weapons feature team experimented with skill progression, which involves players performing specific in-game actions to make them better at similar activities. For example, building up strength will allow players to carry heavier objects with fewer penalties, while performing takedowns will open access to quicker and quieter action sets. So we knew that faster animations and more refined animations were going to be sort of there for doing takedowns. If you do lots of takedowns, you'll just get better and better and better at it, and it appears that this is going to be affecting you in lots of different ways. So yeah, if you keep on lifting heavy objects or keep on going to the gym, whatever, you're going to get better at lifting heavy objects and then moving with them quicker. So there are going to be a substantial selection of player stats. And that begs the question, since we can be cloned effectively, can I just buy a healthier body? Or do I, if I'm tubby, is my clone also tubby? They've begun implementing a sliding mechanic. If a player tries to crouch while sprinting, they'll do a short slide, and that's basically going to allow you to, hopefully, get into cover. Or you can pretend you're playing Titanfall or Apex Legends and slide on the floor while pewing. Pew pew pew! Animation focused on improving visual results for reloads and takedowns. They're also working on basic idols for weapons and knives, which are planned for release in Alpha 3.20. They're currently making improvements to player prone animations and adding an increasing number of player interactions to improve immersion in specific environments. The locations team continued working on Pyro's rundown stations with a focus on completing polish tasks. They're also improving signage around New Babbage, improving the new Crusader platforms, and working with mission features on new content. They progressed with outposts for Pyro and continued their extensive work on the updated underground facilities. Improvements were also made to Pyro's planets, and new technology for clouds was looked into. Montreal's location team progressed with additional derelict settlements, which passed through Greybox before moving into the final phase. Progress was also made on underground facilities too. Once these are done, they will return to working on building interiors. UI and graphics developed a new internal map system to help players navigate the game's complex cities, planets, and capital ships. This will be a real game changer for players, and the devs are really excited by its progress. Also, they're improving the visibility of the UI and pings on the new minimap. Lighting polished and cleaned up various locations around Pyro and worked on the system's gas clouds. Back in Stanton, they progressed with tasks for Crusader's new platforms. In-game branding continued, building various assets for an upcoming event, and worked alongside locations on navigational signage for New Babbage. In addition to helping with underground facilities, they've also done some mock-ups for commercial lobbies. The VFX team worked on interiors and exteriors of several Pyro locations. AI tech, they finalized work to allow NPCs to transition between EVA, so that's extravehicular activity, basically outside your ship, in space, zero-G, that sort of stuff. So they're working on transitions between EVA and environments with gravity. NPCs can enter and exit ships through airlocks or hatches by vaulting over ledges and have associated behaviors with that. They're also now working on boids, which are swarms of bugs, fish, rats, that sort of stuff. They're currently working on 2D boid agents, such as rodents, that will move across terrain within the confines of the navigation mesh. They're also adding restrictions to that so they don't go out of navigatable areas. Next, they're going to be looking into boid agents playing animations while moving or idling. engine and graphics updates. There have been various updates and improvements to Vulkan, the graphics API update that we're all looking forward to, and is expected in-game shortly, but we don't actually have a hard date for it. Several updates to global illumination have been made. They've started to implement TSR, temporal super resolutions. They're pushing towards new water shaders and water simulation. Planet rendering and building updates have been made. They're also updating the new cloth system and Maelstrom. They've begun improving active and animated ragdolls. Updates were made to atmospheric and volumetric cloud rendering as well. Boom! That's it for your monthly report, this time for August. I am really excited for whatever these new ships and vehicles are. There's loads of them, so some of that could be, as I said, for the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo in November, but we've got obviously CitizenCon in October, we've got 3.20 before that. Are you excited about any of those, and what do you think they could be? What about ship-scale tractor beams? Is that what you're sort of really looking forward to? Because that could add a huge new level to cargo and general utility gameplay, actually aiding with sort of search and rescue, but also mining, salvage, loads of stuff. Cloud Imperium appear to be making loads of new missions and updating the reputation system. Are you looking forward to any missions in particular, or just generally more gameplay being in Star Citizen? What do you think about that skill progression stuff? So are you okay with the idea that you actually do have stats, though it's not RPG and experience-based, you gain the ability to do stuff better, like running faster with boxes by lifting lots of boxes and maybe going to the gym? And how extensive do you think that's going to actually be? When do you think we're going to actually see Pyro in-game? There's always so much work going into it, but we're never actually quite seeing it in our hands. When is 4.0 coming out? Will it be the end of the year? Will it be by the middle of next year? When could it be? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below, including any specific questions you have about that monthly report and all the features contained there within. Are we alone in the universe? The truth is out there, but what if aliens visit Earth? But they're like monsters, and all they do is look through your internet history, judging you, laughing at you with all their alien friends, watching your every move live, and then they send like 1 million ads to you about alien products that you don't want, like those shoes and socks that have a gap between your big toes. No one needs that. But what you do need is nordvpn.com/BoredGamer, which helps you prevent that happening from the more real threat of humans doing the same. It encrypts your internet connection, hides your IP address and location, it has an inbuilt ad blocker, and also helps you gain access to region-based content. You should go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer and get a big old discount. You can also click the links below. Every month, we have a ship giveaway. For August, it's for a Crusader Mercury Star Runner with lifetime insurance. This medium-sized, well-armed cargo and data hauler is great for trying out a huge range of what Star Citizen has to offer, a perfect mission runner ship. To be in for a chance of winning, just comment on any of my videos made during the month. More details in the description below. There are some amazing people that help support the channel by clicking on the join button under my videos and becoming a channel member or becoming a Patreon with the links below. That helps keep the channel going and producing daily content. Please consider joining their ranks, but commenting, liking, subscribing, that all massively helps too. Thanks for watching to the end, and I'll see you in the verse.